everybody, it's the Agnihotra, the Cosmic Clinic, and we're broadcasting live here at Shantivilla Institute. We're at the Shantivilla Atlanta location, located in every day Conyers, Georgia, sunrise and sunset, and there's an interaction between the solar system and the sun and the copper pyramid. And so exactly at that time at sunrise, there's a rejoicing of nature. There's a cascading effect of ethers, energies, and electricities that come upon the planet. And so the effect of Agnihotra goes 8 miles up in a 2-mile radius. And so with performing Agnihotra on a regular basis, you will see an effect on animals and wildlife. If you are growing things, if you're a gardener or a farmer, it restores soil. And you as a human, when you're performing Agnihotra, there's an awakening, a cleansing and purification of yourself. So this is what we teach. Shantivilla Institute is an Ayurvedic medicine school, eco center, and we teach all about the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda and how it still relates to this modern world. So a lot of times we make things very complicated as humans. We think that we have to do a lot of actions and have a lot of technology in order to make a worthwhile change within ourselves. And so I wanted to talk about really how you can make changes just by developing your inner muscles. So we know how some of us go to the regular gym, like a LA Fitness or a Fitness Anywhere or any of these places. You know, we go and we lift weights and we go on a treadmill. We want to swim laps to get our muscles toned. And so the same thing goes for if you really want to get your awareness on the highest level as a human being and going beyond the human form and going outside your senses of taste, touch, smell, and all these things. So there's a dimension to every human being that goes beyond the human form. And so it takes spiritual muscles that have to be cultivated and exercised to be developed so that you too can be a spiritual athlete. So take for instance, you are lifting your free weights and you are trying to build that muscle. I mean, and so what we want to do is build get the free weights going to build up the love that you have in your heart. Your awareness of other people, the planet, the animals, being very conscious how every action that the actions that we take, they affect not just you, but it's a reverberating effect. So we want to be in tune to all of that. And Agnihotra is a way for you to slow down and understand your purpose on the planet, your duty as a caretaker, and your relationship with the universe. So this is a way for you to understand that you need to build that muscle of universal love, build that muscle of forgiveness, build that muscle of understanding why you're here on this planet and what are you here to do? What actions can you take to bring about peace and tranquility in your everyday life? That's really what, lifting the free weight. So you'll find that as you do Agnihotra, that these things become clearer to you. You sit in front of the fire, you do the mantras, and we say Sanskrit mantras when we are performing at sunrise and sunset. And so there's a clarity that comes to your mind. And with repeated performance of Agnihotra, you get to a state that I've talked about before in previous Facebook Lives, that is the non-thinking state, where everything comes into play and there's the highest form of communication that has nothing to do with talking, and the awareness becomes very heightened. And then you understand that you have everything in common, from the tiny speck of sand on a beach in Florida to the highest mountain peak, to your neighbor that lives across the street from you, to the bird that's singing and jumping from tree to tree, flying, to people that are live across the world, that there are no differences in any of the humans that live on this planet. And so once you understand that, the only difference that comes about when you sit still and you meditate and you deep breathing, you're doing Agnihotra, the only difference is that you have changed how you think. And you've changed the understanding that you have on the deepest level. So I've often said that everybody from the drug dealer to the pimp to the drug addict to whatever challenges that we have, everybody wants to be happy. That is the kind of goal. Now, we may not know the things to do to be happy, but all of the actions that we humans have, is we're doing it because we think we want to be happy and we use this way. So for a person that's using drugs, they want to, drown away the problems, not realizing that with using the inner technology of meditation and sitting quiet and really getting all that chatter out of your brain, understanding that anything can happen with you because you're a human. And human beings are of the highest order, and we can do anything with the right training. So going back to the celestial gym, we're talking about things that happen. So what happens at the celestial gym? You are repeating the action. So you may go on the treadmill every single day because you're trying to lose, 5 or 10 pounds. Okay, if I try to lose a little weight maybe, or tone things up. So, and you need to do certain miles when you go on the treadmill. You track that. Some people wear the Fitbit and do all these things to track progress. The good thing about the celestial gym is that there is no speed that has to happen when you are walking on the path, the spiritual path. It has to do with really taking the time to sit still and understanding that you are a human being. That means that you can simply be. You're a human being. That you don't have to perform a bunch of actions. So no matter how busy we are in modern society, in the yogic system of understanding, sitting still is when all the action takes place, but it takes place on a very subtle level. Okay, there's not a lot of motion that's going on when you're sitting still and you're meditating, and if you're doing deep breathing exercises. And so these are ancient technological tools that the celestial gym has for us to utilize to understand who we are as energetic beings. So your bioplasma body, which is the body within our physical forms, and you may have heard people talk about chakras and things like that. This is what we're talking about activating. And so when you're sitting still, and whether you're in front of the Agnihotra fire, which is a basic home of fire, or if you're just sitting still, you're upping the activation of all of the chakras. You're upping your vibration. And remember that everything is created from vibration and sound. And this is the building blocks of the universe and the planet. And so anytime you get away from that, then you need to get back to the celestial gym, sit still, meditate. We do yoga, deep breathing, to understand those things are very important only on the human realm. Being fast, being quick, doing things hurriedly, and all these goals that we may have that we think will make us happy. Understand that money that you make may change, but your inner awareness when you have peace stays the same. Okay, we may lose a house or a car, or we may have trouble with a loved one or child, or you're arguing with a spouse and you're thinking about divorce. But we have to understand that happiness is not about outward things. And when you put the focus back on who you are as this beautiful, energetic being, this powerful being, understand that love is the highest vibration of love. And with love, this is how the planet works. So I talked before about Agnihotra, how this is a way to clean up pollution. And so we talk about cleaning the air, and you've heard me talk about cleansing the water, cleansing the pathogenic bacteria out of the air, and Agnihotra, the byproduct of doing Agnihotra. This is the ash that you can use to farm to restore soil. So the basic ingredients of Agnihotra would be dried cow dung. We would have brown rice, and then we use ghee, which is just unsalted butter. And so these basic components comprise of what we do at sunrise and sunset. And so at sunrise, we say, Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Idam Namama, Prajapatiye Swaha, Prajapatiye Idam Namama. At sunset, we say, Agniye Swaha, Agniye Idam Namama, Prajapatiye Swaha, Prajapatiye Idam Namama. And every time we say Swaha, we do a rice ghee, a drop of ghee. We add rice. So actually we add ghee to build the fire up, and we add a pinch of rice. That's what I was trying to say. Brain was thinking quickly. So that is how we perform Agnihotra, which is a basic homifier. So in Ayurveda, the thinking is once you clean up pollution of the planet, then you yourself are healed as the person that performs pollution. So let's understand what is really happening with true science and you know, as we teach it in the modern world, and really the ancient wisdom of Ayurvedic science, the Vedic science, and what happens with people when we do not take care of the planet. And so the whole point of doing this show, the Cosmic Clinic, and now we're talking about the Celestial Gym, is to really understand your place as a caretaker and what really happens with pollution. And this pollution that we're talking about on the physical world, it becomes a thought pollution, because what do you think happens when you're breathing in 2,500 gallons of air every day, and then there's polluted air? So there's no question why you see these murder suicides with the whole families killed, and people, just suicides in general, even amongst young people, young, you know, teenagers and even younger. What's happening? Because every time there's a shift with the planet due to pollution, there's a shift collectively with the minds of the humans on this planet, which is this spaceship called Earth. But this is a planet that is run on vibration. So let's take a look at what that really means. So with all the digging for oil, and we've seen the news talking about, oh, there's a lithium shortage, and you need to have lithium to make chips and for your cell phone, you know, where I'm filming this Instagram live, and you need all these things. But every time you're digging and fracking for oil and doing all these things, what happens to the planet is it's thrown off its axis. And recently, the scientists have, they finally have admitted that the Earth is spinning faster. You can look this up, but we've known about this for many years. Those of us that have been studying the Vedic sciences and performing Agnihotra, and we know that. And so with the excessive spinning of the planet, spinning faster and it's off its axis, there is something that happens to the electromagnetic field. Okay, and remember, we are creatures of the cycle of the planet. The electromagnetic field affects us. It affects all the animals. So what do you think happens with human behavior if the pollution is inundating every corner of, you know, the atmosphere and every corner of the planet? And so prana, which we call it, which is the life force that runs from the universe through everything on the planet, and it runs through you, all that is polluted now. So we have to make sure that we're able to breathe in clean air and have healthy food in order so that we can exist. So let's take this a step further. So when we're talking about building these spiritual tools, the spiritual things within us, whether it be being calm and loving and forgiving and being able to be productive and help our fellow brothers and sisters. We really are talking about making sure that our vibration is at the highest level. And so what we're saying is that the earth itself and the universe, listen very carefully, when we're angry with these thoughts and we have neighbors arguing with neighbors, and we have people that are, filming these YouTubes where they're fighting, and this person is a Karen, and police brutality. And then of course these activities ramp up to, in some places where there are wars, those are vibrations that make the planet shudder. And those vibrations, they reverberate into the universe. So things that happen on this planet, they're felt to the very core, to Earth's core, and we resonate with this vibration. So the negative vibes or the negative activities and behavior is detrimental on the most subtlest of levels. On the subatomic level, it is affected. And what is this planet and this atmosphere made of? It's made of atoms. So we're talking about something that's actually very serious. And most people don't understand what that really means as being the human being, what this means for the animals. It's a very serious thing. So this reverberates into the universe. And mind you, our universe is expanding, but what has happened now, there's a space shrinkage, which I've talked about if you followed the Facebook Lives, but you can't have space shrinkage because the universe is supposed to expand. So you may have heard recently where they were talking about they saw two stars exploding, and it looked like this was 2 weeks ago, I believe, looked like a fingerprint, in the universe. That was not a fingerprint. That was vibration. If you look at the picture, it looks like little vibration movements, but everything is based on vibration. So what happens when you are practicing forgiveness and compassion, and you're getting away from greed and envy and jealousy and all these things that can crowd the mind? I mean, once you step into complete vibration of universal love, that the planet benefits. And the thing is, you can actually test this with plants. If you just go outside your front door, no matter where you live, and just hum and sing, and you can say it out loud, I love you, I love you, I love you, touch the very tip of a plant. And they have instruments that measure that. The plants, they respond to that vibration of love. So the point of Ayurveda and all these celestial gym exercises that we're talking about is to fill yourself with love, because this is the very point of existence. So the very atoms that are inside your body, okay, they need love. And you're tampering with yourself on the subatomic level when you hold on to anger. And you're upset with your sister because of something that happened 5 or 10 years ago. And you hate them. I'm not going to speak to them. Oh, I'm not talking to, I hate my ex-husband. You're going to stay bitter for years. Or your child seemingly has disappointed you because they did not get good grades and they won't talk to you. They won't do chores. But what does this really mean? All these things have to do with perspective. What can you do to add to the solution to these things that are challenging? And mind you, we all deal with these things that are very challenging. Okay? So the only thing that you can control is the inner awareness, what is happening on the inside. So we say to you that if you need help with anything from the things I just mentioned to if it's something where you're a pedophile or a murderer or a drug dealer, these things can be addressed, but you have to be disciplined. So we talked about discipline of, a person that is working out in the gym. You have to have that same discipline in the celestial gym. So discipline. So you see, for example, people train very hard to be athletes, and then you have people that are bodybuilders and they train, like there's the Mr. Universe contest. I think I was reading about that the other day. They're starting it back up. They stopped it during the pandemic, but you have to be disciplined. And what does that mean? You are constantly repeating a series of things to come about with a certain result. You're repeating. You go to the gym 3 times a day. I don't know what they do for Mr. Universe competitions, but they're constantly training. And if we built societies on repeating something every single time, repeating the meditation, repeating chanting, repeating sitting still, repeating saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, repeating saying, I love you, how can I help? Repeating all these things that bring about a repeating sequence of the love vibration, then wow. Now that takes you beyond any Mr. Universe title. You become the king or queen of the universe for real. Okay? And it's not a competition or a contest. This is only something that you do for your betterment, because there's no way that you can really make a change in any neighborhood or community, or be a community organizer or organizing things on a mass level for a country or the world, if you don't make the changes within yourself. And so we're talking about the celestial gem building up these things so you are the king or queen of the universe. You know, how do you become this universal being? How do we become ambassadors of love without doing a lot of talking? How do you make every moment and all your actions full of love and kindness? How do we stand tall and be the peace that we want worldwide? It starts with the individual self. And so anything that we talk about experiencing it in an intimate way. So I can tell you about Agnihotra and deep breathing and yoga and meditation, but it really takes just one little step that turns into 2 steps. So we're talking about the repeating of actions to build the celestial gem, the muscles that you want to have, the spiritual muscles. So let's think about repeating things and just start by just doing the one action. So let's say you have an anger problem. So the next time you feel like screaming at your children or at your husband or wife, just sit still for a second. Even if you had to walk out of the room, just sit still. Don't yell. And so then just make a habit of being very conscious of the action that you want to do away with. And that is how you start repeating. So when we look at the word repeat, the prefix of that word re, like a repeat, and some other words too, it means to go back to the original source. So the re prefix of repeat, it means to go back to the original source. And that means that the original source is you in your relationship with the Creator, the God Almighty. Okay? And repeating what is already natural within you, but you may have forgotten. So when we're talking about repeating the exercise motions, we're talking about repeating the meditation, the mantra, the yoga, the Agnihotra. So you go back to the original source, because the Creator, He was beautiful with the intelligent design of making these things natural within nature. So when we talk about repeating, look at nature, the process of nature. Nature repeats beautifully. We have, our spring and our fall and our winter and all these cycles, and animals know when to migrate. When it's cold, animals go to a breeding ground at a particular time. Flowers know when to bloom. Okay, bees come about buzzing. There is a cycle. It's repeating. And so think about this disruption of the repeating when we don't take care of the mother, the planet. That means it's a disruption to who we are. how we react to other people, and really our evolution from just being the basic mundane human to be going to beyond the human experience. Because as energy beings, understand that we're beyond what we see with these physical eyes. There's sight that goes far beyond here. There's things that you can hear well beyond these ears, what you can taste or touch. There's a whole level of existence for humans. And so when you hear about yogis and masters and seers and rishis, they're talking about these things. You may have read Yogananda's book and various masters' books. This is what they're talking about, but it can only be experienced. And this is your birthright. You were incarnated on this planet to experience these things in the human form, but to go beyond it. Planet Earth is only the beginning. And when we have a leave of this physical body, what in human language we call death, there's something that happens to our energy cells. There's a transformation, because as we know in science, energy never dies. It just simply is transformed. So we're talking about this repeating of actions. So this repeating of action, it starts in nature. So if you really want to understand yourself, go outside and look at what happens in the morning time with the trees and the birds. Understand and feel what happens when the wind blows across your face. Understand that when you are swimming in the ocean, let's say you go to the beach, that water, it started off from a speck, a raindrop from the sky. And then when it falls within with the rest of the water, it becomes vast, like, this vast, beautiful, expansive ocean. And understand that once you unlock the things that happen within the human body that go beyond the physical things, then you become vast like that ocean too. This knowledge is available to everyone because God, the Almighty, the Creator, whatever you call that infinite being that designed all of this, He created us to be beyond human, to be superhuman. So do not think that you are weak and you have no power and there's nothing that you can do. It always starts with a single person. One person showing love and forgiveness can heal an entire family. I've seen it. So when people say, I don't think I could ever forgive him, my father, the rapist, the child abuser. The thing is that when you forgive, and when I say forgive, I mean forgive where you actually do not have any more pain from thinking or talking about whatever trauma has happened to you, then you know forgiveness is really within you. When you can do that and really step away from victimhood, then we can have total healing. Now, I'm not saying any of this is easy. Everything is a journey, and it's a challenge on how to keep ourselves within that space of moving forward. But when you stay in the position that someone hurt you, you're going to be angry and all of that, they may not be affected by that directly, but you're poisoning yourself. So these techniques that we talk about on the show, and I do the show normally 2 weeks. I'm going to do Instagram Live probably twice a month like I did on Facebook Live, but we want to give you very specific things on how to live life daily. So what we've done is we take the ancient Ayurvedic knowledge and we apply it to modern living. Because what happens is sometimes people think that it is difficult to get started with transforming themselves. And I'm here to tell you that transformation is a daily thing. It's a moment by moment thing. You are always in the present. So I don't care what you have done in the past. You can start any moment by changing your action, just moment by moment. And so we have no judgment. Agnihotra, which is what we teach here at Shantivilla Institute, is about no judgment, no politics, no religion. So whatever practice that you have, we invite you to try Agnihotra so that way you become a better person. You know, if you don't have a religion, then you just become a better person. It's not about religion. Okay? Become a better mom, a better dad, a better friend, a more productive worker, a better neighbor. Okay? So it's about cleansing yourself up. And when we say forgiveness, we're talking about forgiveness of yourself. You have to forgive yourself first. So anyone that is listening to this, understand that I don't care what you have done. We love you. We love you. Forgive yourself and actively start working in the celestial gym to create a repeating pattern to get back to the original source. Remember, we said the prefix of repeat, it means to go back to the original source. So you want to repeat. So start off with a little bit of meditation. If you can't sit for, we're not going to say sit for an hour and all that stuff. No, just try sitting for 5 minutes and just close the eyes. And don't think about, oh, what you have to have for dinner for your loved one. Oh, don't think about, oh, this work I'm behind, or oh, I'm going to lose the apartment next week. Just be in the present moment and just sit still. And just focus on the breathing. Slowly breathing. Do that for 5 minutes, okay? Because I know everybody, they see these TikTok videos and these YouTube videos and things like that. Oh, this person is talking about meditation and this teaching. So we want to keep this simple, okay? Because everyone can be as masterful as any master or yogi or, holy one. Everybody's holy. Everyone has the power. And we're not taught in this society that how great and magnificent we are. So understand that the techniques that we're talking about, this is for everyone. Everyone from the hood, okay, the hardest hood in New York, to whatever rich mansion. This is available for everyone to transform and to better themselves. And like I said before, even the drug dealer wants to be happy. Okay, even the drug dealer, the pimp, they're doing those things that they think will make them happy. But once you understand who you really are and the things that you can do to transform yourself by one thought, one action at a time, then you understand that, yes, you are made in the image of Mother, Father, God. You are great. You're magnificent. And so you'll find that the Agnihotra practice, if you do this, and we give you a challenge of 15 days of continually doing Agnihotra, and notice the feeling of what happens in your home. Look at how beautiful and peaceful that you feel. And even your little kids, they can sit while you do the Agnihotra, okay? We've had children with autism that were violent, and they calmed down. And people have said, oh, well, so-and-so's a troublemaker, whatever particular child. And I said, no, don't say that that child's a troublemaker, because when there's a challenge in the family, it affects the whole family. So you want to change that thinking to what can we do to help the child that has the challenge. You always want to bring it back to what we can do, because we are not islands. So I'm going to perform Agnihotra because my alarm just went off. So for those of you that are new to Agnihotra, you can see exactly what, if you take the 15-day challenge, how that is done. So you can do this in your backyard, your front yard, wherever. So I'm going to switch pyramids because it's easier for me that way. So bear with me, everyone. So we're about to do evening Agnihotra. Yes, this is hot. Okay. So I have several pyramids everywhere. Of course, I teach this, so of course I would have to say pyramid. So if you just join, so we use dried cow dung, we use brown rice, and then we use unsalted butter, which has been boiled down, which is called ghee. And so there are 5 gases that are emitted when we perform Agnihotra. For those that want to know about the science of the purification process for Agnihotra, so it's butyplancton, acetylene, formaldehyde, propylene oxide, and ethylene oxide. So those are the 5 gases. So when they've measured this, and you can go to Google Scholar, that is the science. Based on the ancient Vedic science, Ayurvedic science. So when people talk about Ayurveda, they may not understand really what that means, but everything that we discuss here at Shantivilla Institute is based upon that science, which actually relates to maybe modern scientists won't think that it relates to everything that goes on now. So we have ghee that you spread, and I already prepared these because I knew I was going to be doing this on camera. So see this, you just arrange it in the pot. And I forgot my long piece, so I'm about to make sure I'm aware of the time here. Okay, so we got a few minutes here. So let me make my piece that I can do my starter. Start the fire, and I think we're done. So and then you take brown rice, only not white rice. So let me get a napkin. Okay, and let me double check the time real quick. Make sure I have the right time. I believe it's at 6:41 though. Okay, and do I have matches? Okay, I have matches. Okay. Yeah, it's at 6:41. So if you're viewing from, because we have people that view from all over the world, so it starts here in a few minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and light the fire. So you build the fire first. And then, as I said before earlier, for those that are just now joining, we say Sanskrit mantras. We say the Sanskrit because it's a high vibrational language that all other languages come from that. Sanskrit does not come from anything else. And we said before, we're creatures of vibration. The planet runs on vibration. So we are saying the Sanskrit. So everything, the natural items that we're using, that Mother, Father, God created, everything works in sync, just like you see with the ecosystem. So you build the fire a little bit. It doesn't have to be big. And sometimes I make some big blazing fires. So, and then exactly at sunset, how many minutes do we have? We have 2 more minutes. That's when we offer the brown rice. Yes, I usually stick my hand in here like this if things fall apart. People say you stuck your hand in the fire. I'm used to it. So get the rice for the offering. So for those that are watching, you know, if you have a child that has autism, or if you were suffering from PTSD, so there's therapy that some psychotherapists use in India and other places outside the country, and some places here too, where they use this in lieu of using psychotropic drugs, and it has a better effect without side effects. So this is something that you can use to heal the entire family. Communities can use it to heal the pollution. And it's just a really good way to deal with any mental and mood disorders. for anyone that is, worked in psychotherapy, psychiatry. So I just wanted to mention that. We have medical people that do come to Shantivilla, and we teach them this so they can offer their patients a holistic approach to healing in those ways. So now it's time for Agnihotra. Agnaye Swaha. Agnaye Idam Namama Prajapataye Swaha. Prajapataye Idam Namama. Okay, so normally we sit until the fire goes out. So I didn't want anyone that just came on, see this going. So you wait till the fire goes out. So you sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I will be in silence for a little bit, and then I'll come back and talk and conclude the show. But I didn't want people to be like, oh, wow, she's sitting there for a long time. But that's what we normally do. We just sit here um, for until the fire goes out, which is about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so the fire may be going a little bit longer, and I did want to conclude this before I get off the Instagram live. So, like I said before, we started the fire, that Agnihotra is a complete way to heal, because in healing the pollution in the atmosphere, we heal ourselves, the human beings that are the caretakers. And it is important to realize that whatever health challenges or mental or spiritual challenges that we have, that Agnihotra can address these things, so that way you become stronger. You become stronger and more peaceful and balanced. And so we're all about the peace and balance being restored to the planet. It's important now, more so than ever, to teach this to as many people as possible, because the planet, what's happening with the shift of the planet is infecting the people very bad. The very fiber of the planet is crying out for help because there's so much negativity. And so we invite you to, if you're in the Atlanta area, the Conyers, Georgia location is there, and we demonstrate and teach this for free. There's no cost to come to learn and see this, what I have performed this evening. It's always free because it's a gift to mankind. So you're welcome to DM me and go to our website, shantivillainstitute.com. That's CHANTI, Shantivilla Institute. Shanti means peace in Sanskrit. So you can come there anytime. Our main ashram location in Tuskegee University, we're doing renovations, so it's not open to the public, but it will be soon. But we are here to serve and to show everyone how they can serve each other and bring about this peace and prosperity that will come upon the planet as soon as all this chaos is reset, because this is the time of Satya Yuga, and the cycle of violence and disturbance will end, and there will be a wonderful purification and a blooming of joyful activities. And we want to tell as many people as possible about Agnihotra so we can help anyone that's in need to get to where they need to be with their beautiful energetic selves, because we are energy beings housed within the human form. So feel free to reach out. And thanks once again for joining me. The fire's just about out. And I welcome any questions or comments. I will, like I said, I'm switching over to Instagram Live. And so I'll be doing this twice a month. I may go and do this more than twice a month, depending on how many people. I'm also traveling to at-risk communities, teaching this in areas where there are high crime rates and pollution. So if you are a community activist or leader, or you having a problem in your neighborhood, please make a request for us to come out, because it's important that we get the neighborhoods that need it the most this information on cleansing the pollution and cleansing the people's minds, so these people that are committing the crimes in the neighborhood, they can be healed too. So we do come out. I'll be doing a tour here in the next few months, but I'm coming out now, so we don't have to wait for a few months. If you are in Georgia, please contact me and I can come out anytime you want, and you're welcome to come here to Shantivilla Institute at the Shantivilla Atlanta location located in Conyers. And if you're out of state, contact me. We'll have someone from the Heal the Atmosphere Association, grassroots green teams of the Heal the Atmosphere Association. That is our main environmental organization that the Shantivilla Institute falls under, okay? So we are here to educate and bring about the ancient knowledge to liberate people from the bondage of these bad habits and these challenging behaviors they may be doing, okay? So thank you so much for joining me this evening. Once again, this is the Agnihotra Ladies, the Cosmic Clinic, and I will talk to you the next time. Until then, bye-bye.